Your birthday is just around the corner. Someone asks, "So what are the plans? Where's the party?" And you give the answer that apparently baffles the entire planet. Nothing. It's just another Tuesday. Suddenly, you're the outcast. Your friends think you're depressed. Your family thinks you're being difficult. Society acts as if you're fundamentally broken if you don't blow out candles and post a filtered, smiling photo. But what if nothing is wrong with you? What if you're actually more evolved than they give you credit for? Psychologists have studied this, and what they found says a lot more about the people judging you than about you. This video is for you, whether it's about maturity, hidden sadness, or something much deeper. Stay with me. Let's start with the group nobody talks about, the ones who stopped celebrating not by choice, but because life taught them not to hope. In 1967, psychologist Martin Seligman discovered something chilling: learned helplessness. When a brain experiences repeated disappointments over which it has no control, it eventually stops trying, not because it's weak, but because it's efficient. And birthdays, they are essentially prediction error machines. Here is the science. Your brain runs on predictions. Neuroscientists Schultz and Montague proved that your dopamine system doesn't just respond to rewards. It responds to the gap between what you expected and what you actually got. Imagine you're young. You expect the party. You expect people to remember. You expect to feel special. And when that fails to happen, once, twice, 10 times, your brain does the math. It stops releasing dopamine. You stop caring because your brain decided that hoping hurts more than forgetting. So when someone says it's just a day, listen closely. That sentence wasn't born from apathy. It was built from scar tissue. That calm tone isn't coldness. It's armor. But not everyone skips their birthday because of trauma. The second group looks completely different. These are the people who genuinely forget their own birthday because their brain is running 17 tabs at once. Psychologists call this time blindness, and it's more common than you think. When you're deep in a project, a deadline, or a life that demands every ounce of your focus, dates blur. Your calendar looks less like a schedule and more like abstract art. These people aren't suppressing anything. Their brain simply filed the date under not urgent, right next to that dentist appointment they've moved 4 times. It's not that they don't value themselves, it's that they value so many things at once that one day just slips through the cracks. Sound familiar? Then there's the third group, the ones who didn't forget and aren't hurt. They looked at the whole concept of birthday celebrations and simply said, "I'm good." Not because they are lonely, but because they genuinely don't need the external validation. If that's you, here is the science behind your mindset. Researchers Ryan and Deci spent decades studying self-determination theory. Their core finding? The most psychologically healthy people are those whose happiness comes from within, not from social rituals or a song you never asked 30 people to sing at you in a crowded restaurant. These individuals have figured out the hedonic treadmill, that cycle where you chase the next milestone or external hit of joy, only for it to never quite land the way you hoped. People in this group stepped off the treadmill. They aren't missing out. They just stopped outsourcing their joy. Think about that. While everyone else waits for one day a year to feel special, these people figured out how to feel whole on a random Tuesday. And that's what trips people up. Your peace is uncomfortable to others because it challenges their assumption that everyone needs the same things: the cake, the fuss, the attention, but you don't need a calendar to remind you that you matter. You don't need 30 off-key voices to feel loved. You already know. However, not everyone reached this place peacefully. Picture this. You're 8 years old, it's your birthday. You've been counting down for weeks. You told everyone at school, you imagined the balloons, the cake, the moment the room lights up just for you. And then the day comes, and it's quiet. Maybe the people you hoped for didn't show. Maybe someone important forgot. It felt smaller than the version in your head. You didn't cry. Not where they could see. You just quietly adjusted your expectations. The next year, you expected less. The year after, even less. Most people don't know this, but Johns Hopkins researchers found that our brains don't just remember dates. They relive the emotion every year. It's called the anniversary effect. Your calendar moves on, but your brain stays put. That 8-year-old is still in there, waiting. But here's the plot twist. Not everyone who skips their birthday does it from a place of strength. Jennifer Crocker at the University of Michigan studied contingencies of self-worth. She found that some people disconnect because they are afraid that if they let themselves want the celebration and it isn't perfect, it will confirm their worst fears about themselves. So they opt out as a form of protection, not confidence. That distinction matters. There is a world of difference between someone who doesn't need the party and someone who wants it desperately but is too afraid to admit it. So as you watch this, ask yourself honestly, is it freedom or is it fear? Only you know, and the fact that you're paying attention to that question right now already says a lot. Maybe that's the real point. We've been taught that celebration equals caring, that if you don't make a scene, something is wrong. But what if the truest form of self-love isn't throwing a party? It's not needing one. Maybe someone watching this spent their last birthday alone, not because they are unloved, but because the silence finally felt like enough. If that's you, you aren't broken. You belong to a quiet tribe that doesn't need permission to feel whole. But just in case, you have it. You are allowed. If this video found you today, it wasn't an accident. Leave a quiet comment if you've ever spent a birthday alone and felt perfectly fine. If you want more like this, subscribe. The next video might explain even more about you than this one did. Nothing was ever wrong with you.